Hi everyone, Alejandro Diaz here at TP-Link, and welcome to episode 3 of our Omada video tutorial series. Now in the last episode we created a few networks with a few SSIDs, and one of those SSIDs was a guest SSID. What we want to do today is we're going to create a portal for this SSID so that any client that attempts to connect to it gets that splash screen, and then they can enter a voucher code which we will generate to authenticate into that network. So if you join me over here, we're going to go to our controller, and right now we're in the dashboard of our controller. Note here in our devices we still have our router, our switch, and our access point connected. If we go to our networks, you'll see that we still have that general, guest, and IoT networks created, VLAN 10, 20, and 30. And here in wireless networks, we have our SSIDs, one for general, one for IoT, and one for guests. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this guest SSID, and I'm going to change the security type to none. This is so that customers can go to the SSID directly, and then we will leave all the authentication to the portal itself. I'm going to put the security as none, apply it, and our main and next step, we're going to go to authentication, portal, and here we're going to create new portal. Portal name, I'm just going to do episode 3. Toggle it on. First thing we'll do here is we're going to choose the network or SSID we want to bind to the portal, or we want to bind the portal to. This site, we're going to choose the guest SSID. That's it. Now, authentication type. In the Omada controller, we have a few authentication types. They go from no authentication, simple password, hotspot authentication types, radio server, external LDAP, and external portal server. So for this episode, we're going to choose hotspot, and then note here that we have 5 different authentication forms for hotspot. And for our example, we're going to use voucher. Now note that as soon as I click voucher, something pops up down here called voucher manager. This is where you can create your vouchers. You can create the portal first and then do the vouchers. You can always access the voucher manager from up here where it says organization and hotspot manager. Now here you have an option for the landing page. This will determine what website you will be redirected to after you pass the authentication. If you keep the original URL, this will redirect you to your home page, whichever one that is. If you put the promotional URL, here you can specify the website you want to be redirected to. In our case, I'm going to choose switch to omada.com. Then down here, is where you can customize your portal. Now this, you have a little preview here on how it's going to look for a computer and how it's going to look on a mobile device. You can make the background a solid color or a picture. You can of course change that picture background. If you click here, the logo, you can disable it or enable it. You can choose the logo picture as well. And then you can modify the logo size. You will see the changes reflected immediately in the preview as you make them. Then you can move the logo up or down, put it a little bit down here. And you can change the color of the input field. You can change the color of the button. You can change the color of the text in the login button. Then you can move the button position up or down, make it centered right there. Then you can change the text in the button itself. Here in our example, we're going to put let's go. You can see how the preview updates automatically. You can add some welcome information. This can be anything that you would like. Here we're going to call welcome to episode 3. And you will see it up here. Change the size of that font. Let's make it a little bit bigger. You can also add some terms of service, which will look like something like this, where they can acknowledge the terms of service before they get authenticated. And then you can also edit those terms of service here. You can enter your own terms of service. And lastly, you can add some copyright information here, and this will be added to the very bottom of the site. Optionally, down here you have some advertisement options. This is basically a slideshow of different pictures that you can upload, up to 5 pictures. These can be local businesses that you can charge some advertisement space in your port. We're going to apply that. Our voucher portal is already being generated. Now, what I want to do is I want to create the vouchers for this portal. To do that, I'm going to go up here where it says Hotspot Manager. Then here in the Hotspot Manager, we're going to go to Vouchers, Voucher Groups. And then we're going to create a new voucher group. Now, we're going to call this Vouchers. Here, I can select which portal I want to create this group for. Since I only have the one portal, if I choose this, it only shows me that episode 3 that we just created, and it shows us all because it's the only portal that we have. You can customize which portal you want to use these vouchers for. The code length, I'm going to do a 10-digit code. Code format, I can do numbers or letters or both. I'm going to do both. How many I want to create? I'll create, let's say 50. Here, I'm going to define how many times can the voucher be used, or how many online users simultaneously can exist using this voucher. I'm going to choose 2 online users at the same time. I'm going to leave the duration to 8 hours. After 8 hours, you will need to re-authenticate on the portal. You can optionally also add a rate limit to the voucher itself. If you create a rate limit, here I have created a 50 down, 10 up rate limit. Creating a rate limit looks something like this. You just give it a name, and then you can specify download limit and upload limit. If I choose this 50 down, 10 up, every connected client using vouchers will be capped at 50 Mbps down and 10 Mbps up. You can also add traffic limit on how much traffic it can be consumed daily, weekly, or however you prefer. If you want it daily to be 10 gigs of traffic, you change it here to 10 gigs, and that's it. I'm going to save this. And that's it. It has created the voucher group. If I go to this button here with the details, you will see every voucher that has been created and whether that voucher has been used or not. For our example, I'm going to attempt to connect to this SSID and use one of these vouchers. I'm going to copy this voucher here. And then I'm going to go here. There's guests. And I'm going to forget it. And now I'm going to attempt to connect to it. There. It redirected me to our portal. Here is welcome to episode 3 like we typed. Here's our voucher code. We're going to paste it in there. I'm going to agree to the terms and conditions. And here our button says, let's go. After I get authenticated, it says success. It's going to redirect you to either your home page or the promotional web page that you have specified. In our case, it forwarded us to switch to omada.com. Let's go back to our controller. If we refresh this here, you'll see that now my voucher is in use. And here you'll have a counter on how much remaining traffic this user has available. And you have some information here about the data rate that has been applied. You can print all unused vouchers from here, and it'll look something like that. You can print it, cut them out. You can add additional information here at the bottom, sort of kind of like pricing of the voucher if you want to charge for the service, but it's up to you. Back to our controller. Here, in the hotspot manager, you can create users that will only have access to the hotspot manager and not the rest of the controller. For instance, this can be the person at the front desk of a hotel or any similar business that will handle out vouchers at the front desk. You can create a username for them. This can be, I don't know, Bill. The password is going to be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and you can give them a role. Oh, I need to make a better password. And then you can give them a role, either admin or viewer. Admin can create, print, delete, and do anything related to vouchers. And a viewer can only view which voucher has been used and how much time they have left and how much traffic they have consumed. So I'll create it as admin, and here I can give privileges to a specific site. Since our only site is this default site, we can choose this here and save it. There. So I can now give Bill this link right here, which is the URL for the hotspot manager. They can bookmark it, save it as favorites, and open it every time they need to generate, create, print, or do vouchers. And there you have it. We created our SSID as a guest. We removed the authentication type on the SSID settings to force the authentication to happen in the portal. We created a portal, we customized it however we want. We chose the authentication type as a voucher, and then we created some vouchers in the hotspot manager, and then we tested it that with the portal would pop up when we attempt to communicate or to connect to that SSID, and we used our vouchers, and we noticed how much time was remaining on the voucher and how many vouchers was used. So thank you for joining, and hopefully I'll see you around.